Microphone is on. Welcome everyone to the Private Acts Committee. Today is Monday, March the 30th. I've been to Disney all weekend and I've taken my ears off and we're ready to go. And Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll? We'll get everybody to sign in. I'm sorry. Then we'll call the roll. All right. Okay. Has everybody signed in? Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 9 members present. You have a quorum.
All right. Thank you. It looks like we have 10 now. So thank you. And today is going to be a short calendar. We only have 4 bills on the calendar. And the first one is House Bill 2661. I'm sorry. We have your personal orders first. Oh, Representative Pearson.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Chairman. And I just want to acknowledge something that happened in our community over this weekend. This past Saturday, we, along with about 8 million folks, were participating with Free the 901, Indivisible Memphis, and No Kings protests. And it was beautiful, a great gathering against tyranny, against authoritarianism and the like. And toward the end of our march, literally as it was ending, the Memphis Police Department started attacking people. And there's videos that are circulating on social media of this, but with pepper spray. And when we are seeing people who are paid with tax dollars attacking our own citizens and constituents,
Representative Pearson, the personal orders are to recognize somebody. Like if you have a member or a constituent in a crowd, please, then you'll do that, but
Thanks.
not to.
And so it's just recognizing those thousands of constituents who showed up and who were attacked, and ensuring that they get accountability from our mayor and our police chief. Thanks, Chairman.
Anyone else, please? Okay. If not, the first bill on the calendar, House Bill 2661 by Leader Cochran. Leader Cochran, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman and Committee. It's just a private act.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. City of Nyota private act changes that they've had some annexation and that type of thing. So just cleaning up an older private act.
Okay. Do we have any questions for the sponsor? Yes, Representative Copley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Leader Cochran, does this have anything to do with impact fees?
Leader Cochran.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative, I'll be honest with you. I will speak with the city on that to see if that's anything that they're shooting for there. Again, they have had they've expanded their city limits. They've had a recent development there, and so the development that I'm aware of has already occurred. It was a large D.R. Horton development, and so they've expanded their city borders. So I don't think that they could do anything retroactively on that, but that's something I can get some clarity on between now and full. Be happy to.
Representative Copley. Oh, you're good. Okay. Representative Pearson, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Chairman. And it's maybe connected to that question. Who is setting these boundary changes? That's in section 2 of your document.
Leader Cochran.
The city of Nyota would be setting their own boundaries.
Representative Pearson.
And is that approved by like the Secretary of State? Just honestly, it's like a 24-page piece of legislation. So who in the state sort of approves those, just to make sure it's not impacting representation or anything like that?
Sure. Sorry, Chairman.
No, I just wanted to mention we do have a resolution from the city council to approve that 2/3 vote. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, thanks, Chairman. So annexation is already spelled out in code. You have an area, you have an urban growth boundary where you can expand, but to annex, you have to have the agreement of those property owners. And so typically, if a developer is coming in, they'll ask for that annexation on the front end. They'll say, hey, before we put this development here, we want it to have city sewer, other city services. So we're going to ask you on the front end to annex us. And so you've got the situation with the housing development here. There's a gas station, like a pilot station in the city of Nyota as well, located out on the interstate, which is kind of away from the municipal limits, but they ask the city of Nyota to annex them again for the same reason, so they could have city sewer and city services. And then eventually, obviously the city annexes, and then if there has to be any kind of charter change, that comes through us.
Okay. Representative Pearson?
Not to the sponsor, but for legal.
Okay. We have a question for legal. So we're going to go out of session and then go to legal. And we state your name and, I'm sorry. Okay, Representative Pearson, do you have a
Okay.
question?
Thank you so much. And so in reading this, there were a couple of parts that I just hadn't heard of and just want to make sure these are either boilerplate language or something that's in most of our charters. But in section 22, when it's given permission to define, prohibit, abate, suppress, prevent, and regulate all acts, which include things that this city or most cities would deem liable to be detrimental to the health, morals, comfort, safety, convenience, or welfare of the inhabitants of the municipality, including the exercise of police powers. Is that in most of our charters?
Legal, state who you are, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Doug Garrett with the Office of Legal Services. Representative Pearson, in response to your question, yes, it is. It's the ability of the locals to regulate matters pertaining to health and safety on a local level. So it does appear.
Representative Pearson.
Thank you. And then where we look at eligibility, only registered voters of the city who are bona fide citizens and current residents of the city for at least 1 year can become mayor, which I think is a great idea. What does bona fide mean there?
Legal.
Here it's subsection B, eligibility for mayor.
I'm sorry, Representative Pearson, can you state where it is? Okay.
It's where they're talking about who gets to be mayor, subsection B, where it says eligibility.
Okay. Doug Garrett, again, thank you, Representative Pearson, for the clarification. That is my interpretation of, I'm going to give you my interpretation of bona fide. Actual citizens or people who actually reside within the corporate limits of the city. Again, I don't know that a court would opine differently. They could, of course, but to me, that is what that reference, that term means.
Okay.
Representative Pearson.
Thank you. And then on section 7, where it has prohibitions holding other offices, and this is one that we've talked about before as a body, but it's that a board commissioner, in addition to the mayor, can't hold any other county, state, or federal office. Some of that I understand. But would this mean that you couldn't be on the board of commissioners and a state representative, for instance?
Back to legal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That is more of a debatable issue, I would say. And I say debatable in that it would require us to do some research into that. I can get back with you with an answer, but I think the gist of that is that they involve positions of trust, elected positions, but I can get you an answer to that in writing if you'd like.
Okay, because I would agree that I could see that for federal office,
Okay.
and you wouldn't want the mayor that, but that makes sense. And then the last thing is just about public accountability. It says that the council, every ordinance shall be passed on 2 different days at regular, special, or adjourned meetings with at least one passage occurring at a regular meeting. I do a fair bit of work and have done work in our city and things, city council, and there's often this term called same night minutes, where they'll have legislation that they bring forward. They say same night minutes, they vote on it the same day. And my only concern here is that when it says copies of the text of every ordinance must be made available to the public during every meeting in which the ordinance is subject to passage, does that mean they don't have to present it like 24 hours in advance and they could, bring something up, potentially use same night minutes, and then the public won't get any opportunity to review it? That's a concern that I'm having.
Legal.
Thank you, Chairman. And just to comment on your concern, I've never heard that phrase. Certainly, though, local governments can require 2 votes, separate votes. I don't know what the connotation is, but that is typical to require the separate votes. And I have seen language in private acts that require it on different days, but I don't know, I can't explain or I can't interpret that reference. Again, if you'd like for me to do some research into that, I'd be glad to and get back to you on it.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
that, Chairman and legal. And I
Okay.
think it does say different days here in this legislation. So I was just curious. Thank you,
Okay,
Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for the sponsor? If not, with no objection, I'm sorry, we do have another question. We have to go back into session first. Now we're back. Okay, and any other questions for the sponsor? Okay, if not, without objection, we are going to be voting on House Bill 2661, and all in favor, vote on the board, please, or all opposed. Okay, so everyone voted. Anyone wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, will you please tally the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes, 0 noes, and 1 present not voting.
All right, thank you. And with that, House Bill 2661 goes on to state and local government.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Committee.
Thank you, Leader Cochran. Okay, and the next one on item number 2, House Bill 2662. Do we have got a motion? I got a second. Chairman Martin, you're recognized.
Thank you, committee and chair. This is a private charter change for the city of Lexington. And what it's doing is clarifying that the mayor is the chief executive officer. It gives the mayor oversight over city operations, allows the mayor to request reports from city staff, allows him or her to do suspension of employees for misconduct with the board approval, and establishes that he or she is a full-time mayor in the new current charter. With that, I stand ready for question.
All right, thank you, Chairman Martin. This is not Lexington, Kentucky, right?
No, this time it's Lexington, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, Representative Pearson.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Here it says the mayor may suspend an employee for misconduct or dereliction of duty as a means of reprimand. An employee may appeal a suspension to the board. The decision of the board shall be final. You know, I really agree that due process is definitely important here. Do you know the process that's currently sort of in place, sort of beyond this? Because the only concern that I have is, yes, you have a right to appeal to the board, but is there a certain amount of time that people actually get to be heard, to have their appeal heard and a decision made?
Chairman Martin.
No, sir, Representative, I don't know. This was just changed language they gave me to run. What we did have was the city manager was controlling a lot of that conversation previously. So this put it back into this format where they would have an opportunity to have a voice through the board.
Representative Pearson, do you have another? You good? Okay. Anyone else? If not, without objection, we're going to be voting on House Bill 2662. All in favor, please vote on the board, please, or all opposed. Okay, has everyone voted? Anybody wish to change your vote? Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes and 1 no.
Okay. House Bill
Thank you, committee and chair.
2662 goes on to state and local government. Thank you, Chairman Martin. Item number 3, Vice Chairman Bricken. We got a motion. We got a second. Vice Chairman Bricken, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. This is a private act that comes from the leadership of the Queen City of the Highland Rim, also known as Tullahoma. What they have is a charter change that will embed in their charter a budget restriction that will allocate 3.8% of their operating budget to roads within the city and no less than $1.5 million. So they're trying to embed a budget restriction so they could allocate annually additional money for roads within the city.
Okay, do we have questions for the sponsor? Representative Hemmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, sponsor for bringing this bill. I just thought it was odd having a percentage fixed on that. I don't think I've ever seen that. I just didn't know if there was any background. Were they not having?
I wish I could tell you.
Chairman Bricken.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As of there, each board can allocate whatever amount within their budget to roads. And in the past, when budgets are tight, the road allocation seems to get hit. So they want to embed in their charter a minimum level. And the 3.8%, I think, was based on their last budget that came out at $1.5 million. So that's going to be their floor. If their budget goes up, hopefully they can allocate more than $1.5 million each year to roads. So.
Okay, thank you. Representative Hemmer, do you have another?
Thank you. Just a question of the chair if they have a board resolution.
Yes, we do have a resolution. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. We do have a board resolution.
100%.
Any other questions for the sponsor? I have one quick one. Why would they have to do a private act to do this? Why wouldn't they be able to do it since it's a budgetary thing? Why would they need a private act? Why
Well,
couldn't they do it within the
they
budget?
want to embed it in their charter. So, and they feel like if it's in their charter, it will be harder for future boards to get away from it without coming back and amending their charter.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Oh, Chairman Hawk, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As the chairman of House Transportation Committee, kudos to them. I think that's a good thing for them to do, to hold their feet to the fire and say, we're going to make these investments as our communities grow. I think it's a good step forward for everybody. So thank you very much,
Good point.
Chairman Bricken, for bringing that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, do we have any other questions for the sponsor? If not, without objection, we're going to be voting on, I just turned to the wrong page, House Bill 2663. So all in favor, vote on the board. All opposed, vote on the board. And Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Mr. Chairman, you have 11 ayes and 0 noes.
All right, thank you. House Bill 2663 goes on to state and local government. Thank you, Chairman.
Chairman, committee.
And
All right. Folks, this will be our final bill for consideration, House Bill 1465. Do I have a motion? Motion. Do I have a second? Properly seconded. Do we have, and also, Chairman, do we have a local motion for the resolution for the bill? We do. All right. Vice Chairman Powers, or Chairman Powers, you're recognized.
all right. Thank you, Vice Chairman Sparks. I appreciate it. House Bill 1465 is a local bill for Union County. A couple of weeks ago, if you remember, we had a testimony from one of the county commissioners that told, why they needed to do this. It simply recalculates the rate of building permits from a flat fee to 50 cents per square foot for both residential and commercial. The last time they had an increase in building permit was 1972. So this is not an impact fee. It's simply a building permit fee based on the square footage and only applies to Union County. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll be glad to take any questions.
All right. Any questions? Seeing no further questions, ready to vote? All in favor, vote aye. Every member voted. Anyone wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please call for the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 6 ayes, 1 no, and 4 present not voting.
All right. Bill goes out. I'm going to turn this back over to the chairman to let him close out this our last meeting.
Oh, Madam Clerk, did you read the vote? Is that what you're saying?
local.
Our final calendar. So we are like Buc-ee's. We're going to be open every day, 24/7, till we finish up the session. Anybody can file a private act while we're in session, and even if state and local should happen to close, then we'll get them open again. But you have until then, so we have no final calendar. But we do have a final vote and a final minute here in this committee, so we're going to close out. So do we have any personal orders before we close out? Chairman Doggett.
Question for the chairman. Does the representative that files a private act have to be a resident or a representative of the county or municipality that they are filing the private act on behalf of?
Okay. I would not think so, but I'm going to go to legal, but I have like 3 counties. So if I filed a private act for one county, I wouldn't be a resident. I'd be a resident of the district, but not the county. So I'm going to go.
I can ask the clerk later for
Okay.
clarification.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out of session and ask legal real quick. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that that's an appropriate route to take to consult with the clerk's office. Typically, we do get them from the county, the representative or the senator from the county in which is in their district, or the city that's in their district. But I don't know. That may be an issue for the clerk to determine.
Did you have another question for legal? Okay, we're going to go back into session. I just ran one from Union County. I don't live in Union County, but it is in my district. So I don't think you have to be, and I may be wrong, but check with the clerk's office. I don't think you have to be a resident of that municipality to run one. Probably have to be a representative of that district, but yes.
Thank you,
Chairman
Mr.
Doggett.
Chairman. I will consult with the clerk and report back to this committee at our next available meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, please have that in writing and duplicate, please, for every member.
Space?
Double space.
Double
please.
space?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or any other comments before we leave? If not, we got a motion to adjourn. We got a second. We're out of here. Thank you all.